Hi there, this is Derek Murphy. I'm making this video to talk about some of the frustrations I feel around book formatting and some of the information that I wish was more common knowledge. If you're thinking about self-publishing a book or somehow managing to handle your own book formatting, it is really important. Besides cover design and the basic publishing package, formatting is a huge chunk of the process of putting your book up to ebook sales or print-on-demand stores like KDP Print or Ingram Spark. And there are rules of formatting and book design that you need to learn, and there's not a lot of stuff available. So that's why I've been making tutorials and templates, which I'll talk about in a minute. And my tutorials on YouTube have over 1 million views, so I know there's a ton of demand because this is a real problem for people. They want their book to look good, they want it to look professional, but they don't know how to format it. So let me talk about my frustrations. I work with a lot of authors, and every 3 to 6 months or so, I look for somebody who can format books for me, because the truth is it's kind of a pain to do. I know how to format books, I still don't enjoy doing it, and I usually won't do it for clients, even though there's a ton of demand, even though people want to pay me to format their books for them. There are other things I would rather be doing for my time. It can be really pedantic and stressful, even if you know what you're doing, even if it only takes 2 or 3 hours. There are always going to be revisions, usually lots of back and forth with the author because the manuscript wasn't fully edited or proofread before, so there are changes to make. The whole process tends to take weeks to months, and it shouldn't, of course. If the book was completely edited and polished and ready, formatting would be a really quick thing to do. It would take a couple hours. It's a pretty decent service, but in my experience, it's generally a lot more messy than that, actually, mostly because authors are new at publishing and they don't really know what goes into the process. Another thing I'll point out real quick is that your format should match your book cover. So book cover is hugely important. I have tutorials about book cover design on my other sites, DIYbookcovers.com and Creative Indie Covers, where I do design work. And your formatting usually is pretty simple because almost all formatting looks pretty much the same. There are a handful of good-looking serif fonts you can use for the body, and then you change the headers or the chapter headings to match the title font of your book cover, which communicates genre. The genre is a big piece of finding the right market and the right audience for your book, whether fiction or nonfiction, and you need to know what kind of fonts broadcast the right genre so that you're communicating the right benefits to the right people. That's branding and a big chunk of your marketing. If you don't know what your genre is or who your audience is, and you don't know what the right fonts are for your cover, that's something a cover designer should help you with. But you can also do research. I have a lot of resources and tutorials also. So generally speaking, you can get a nice looking template and put your content into it and just tweak the fonts for your genre and you'll be pretty good to go. So here's the problem. I don't actually like doing it for clients, so I'm always looking for somebody else who can do it better, because like I said, it takes a lot of time. Maybe you don't feel like learning if this is your only book. Unless you're going to be a career author or you plan to publish regularly, maybe this isn't a skill you really need to learn. So I'm always trying to find someone who can take over my workload and send people to. And the problem is there aren't a lot of high quality designers who are offering book formatting services. I will go on to freelance sites. I will look on Fiverr, and I was just on there today. And the funny thing with Fiverr, I don't know if you know Fiverr.com, it's a place to get cheap services. They have a lot of people offering formatting gigs. Generally, cheap formatting costs $50 to $100. I would probably lean towards $100 is about the cheapest I would pay for formatting. But the majority of those gigs on Fiverr.com and other websites are literally stealing the template pictures from this website, DIYbookformats.com, and putting them up on their portfolios. Every time I go into Fiverr, there's 10 or 20 new gigs that have pictures of formats in their portfolio that they've stolen from the site. I have to, try to report them, but it's just kind of an ongoing problem because they will always Google best examples of book formatting and they will find my images and then they'll use those to market their services. And some of those services are fine because if they do the service well and they get tons of reviews and people are happy with the services, I don't really care that much that they're using my images. The larger problem is if they are using my templates as an indication of their graphic design skill and they are actually not at that level. So then it's a mismatch marketing, where they're communicating one level of design and you're paying for it, but actually you're getting something much less. And so here's the other big problem. When I look on these freelance sites, the vast majority of people offering book formatting services are not good designers. Maybe they're amateurs, maybe they just don't have a strong design sense. It's one of those things where it's not really high value to do, because anybody could technically do it, and it's also not being met by the really high quality designers. They can be making more money elsewhere. And so there are few services or formatters. Often it's people who they offer author services, they offer marketing or book design, or a lot of other things, and they realize, like I did, that authors need formatting services. This is one major thing that everybody needs. There's a ton of demand that's not being met. So it seems like a no-brainer to offer that service and try to figure it out, because authors are willing to pay for it. But in most of the cases I reviewed, whenever I'm looking for people to pay, and I would be happy paying $150 per formatting job, I can't find anybody in that price range who's actually good at book design. What I find is a lot of kind of not great looking, amateurish, ugly book design in that price range, which is terrible, because if you're paying that much money for book formatting, you should be getting, a decent job. What I found is the actually really talented designers who are offering book formatting kind of as their main job, the people who are better than me, who I would actually pay to do it, they're more in the range of $250 or $350 for book formatting. And then it's still hard, because there are people charging $500 for book formatting who also aren't very good with the design stuff. And those people who are really good, even at $300, they're booked out, a year in advance, because there's too much demand and it's not being met properly. Anyway, so that's my little rant about some of the challenges that you're up against and things you need to consider when you're looking for book formatting services. That's why I made this website. That's why I have a whole bunch of tutorials. They're not the best things in the world, but a lot of people have found them useful to try to teach you how to format your own books. If you sign up and download the free package, there are a handful of sample templates. Like I said before, the main thing is all books basically look the same, so you can use the sample templates, and on this website in the menu there are lists of the best fonts that I recommend. I also have big lists of the best recommended fonts per genre, but those are several years old. There's still a good indication of where to get started. I would look on DIY book covers if you want more detailed tutorials about book design in general and choosing fonts that match your genre. This site is mostly just about book formatting. Also, I will point out there are some other people selling book formatting templates, but you pay a certain price for basically one template. And on this site, my free templates are already better than what most people are offering, come with tutorials and some extra resources and stuff. And if you figure out your fonts, or if you just match your fonts to the book cover, you're going to be fine. However, if you want to save some extra time, you can also get the master packet of templates, which is $47. It comes with dozens of other templates and specifically modified templates that match different genres. So no matter what type of book you're writing, fiction or nonfiction, all the different genres, I've custom hand-chosen certain fonts and design elements, which will speed things up. So this is my other problem with book formatting templates, is that in most cases, if you buy a template, it's still not genre specific. And it's a mistake to think you can just use that template and it will work for your book. You have to modify the fonts for your book cover, and the book cover is a huge piece. You can design your own book cover, but it is such an important piece of your book marketing and your sales. It's really worth learning how to do it right. Anyway, that's my spiel. I'm Derek Murphy. I have Creativity and a lot of other sites where I help authors write and publish better. This is just one site where I have tutorials and templates to try to help self-publishing authors. If you sign up, you'll also get on my email list where I share useful publishing and book marketing tips and whatnot. So thanks, nice to meet you, welcome, enjoy, good luck publishing. I hope the templates help. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.